This is the second part of the Mark Twain PowerPoint. It will cover the themes of the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. There are several themes in the novel. Some are more serious than others. Slavery and racism obviously is the most dominant, and it is what causes people to struggle over this novel yet today. Huck is struggling with his conscience about helping Jim become free. Huck has been raised in a society that believes slavery is acceptable, and he sees Jim as a slave. But it will be interesting for you to see how Huck deals with this during the course of the novel. Huck eventually does start to question the morality of slavery, and so it's not just about Jim as an individual anymore, it's about slavery as an issue. And this forces the reader to consider her or his own views. Remember, at the time the novel was written, slavery had been outlawed for approximately 20 years, but most adults had grown up with slavery as being legal in many parts of the United States. And we're still dealing with the repercussions of the Reconstruction of the South. The second significant theme is the contrast between civilization and the outside world, or, in other words, nature versus civilization. It's very interesting during the novel, as you read it, to watch how, in many cases, when Huck is in civilization, that's where he sees his conflicts. That's where he sees people struggle, fight, and do terrible things to each other. But when he is alone in nature or with Jim in nature floating down the Mississippi, it's peaceful, he feels free, and he is comfortable. And the other aspect that is very enjoyable about this novel is that when he's floating down that river, it has the most vivid imagery and the best sensory language during the entire novel. You really will get the feeling that you are there. You'll want to make your own raft and float down the Mississippi. The third theme that we have to deal with is the contrast between social norms and honest morality. Because the reader, through that first-person narration, is feeling all of Huck's thoughts and feelings, we become part of that moral struggle. The more mature reader can feel challenged by the issues raised, and there are questions that deal with organized religion. Considering the time when he's living with the widow and Miss Watson, they are intensely religious, yet they have a slave. And it ties religion into the subhuman treatment of Jim, which becomes another very challenging aspect of the novel. Is Mark Twain saying we shouldn't practice religion? I don't think so. Is he saying that religion in some ways was used in order to keep people slaves? Probably. The fourth aspect is with the Duke and King as frauds who target innocent people. This forces Huck to have to make his own moral judgments. Are these people right or are they wrong? As a child, he has been raised to believe that adults know what they're doing, adults are right. And so when the Duke and King become part of his life, we have to question whether adults always know what is best. And there's a climatic irony, and again, this is a spoiler, so I apologize, that Jim is a free man the entire time Tom and Huck try to free him. And that's another issue of morality. We have to consider why each boy wants to free Jim. Is it because we believe that slavery is wrong? Is it because we believe that Jim deserves to be free? Or is it a game for him? And so we see that tie-in of the theme that blacks are as human as whites. And again, remember, the novel's written in 1880s. Today, we might view some of this differently, and that will be a topic for discussion for us in class. I look forward to discussing the novel with you in class. Happy reading.